A couple's marriage was annulled because they used ChatGPT during their ceremony. Over 100 human skulls were found at the home of a Pennsylvania man who's accused of robbing cemeteries. These are the weird, bizarre stories for Weird AF News, your source for weird news in the podcast format. I'm your host, Jonesy. I have 3 strange news stories. Pretty good stuff. Here we go. A couple's marriage has been annulled after they used ChatGPT for the ceremony speech. This Dutch couple had their marriage canceled, basically, after the person officiating used a ChatGPT-generated speech that was intended to be playful for the ceremony, but actually failed to meet some legal requirements of a marriage speech. Well, this is why you don't allow AI to direct you in very serious matters, such as the legally binding marriage ceremony. ChatGPT is like, I do? Psst, you ain't got to say I do. I've replaced that with you and me and the universe are one. All right, let's see if this answers the questions that we have. The article says the pair from the city of Zwolle, whose names are being redacted, argued that they had intended to marry regardless of whether the correct wording was used when they took their vows. Their problem was the person that they chose to officiate their wedding was not a real city official. It was a friend who happened to get a little cute and playful with the wedding vows, saying, quote, would the couple continue supporting each other, teasing each other, and embracing each other, even when life gets difficult. When the couple said, I do, the friend/officiant declared them, quote, not only husband and wife, but above all, a team, a crazy couple, each other's love and home base. And because of this slight deviation from the official wording, the judge found that they had not actually sworn to fulfill their marriage duties, something that is required under Dutch law. So in addition to signing the paperwork, you have to swear using a very specific acceptable words coming out of your mouth noises. But what if you can't speak, like medically you have a condition? There are people out there, mutes, I believe are they still called mutes? Or is that like some sort of degrading condition slur now in our language? It's hard to keep up with the words that become off limits. Am I going to be canceled and dragged out of the closet immediately? Please do it. Please just put me out of my misery. Now, my point was, if you can't speak, how do you say the magic words that are necessary to get married according to Dutch laws? Well, nonetheless, they're very strict over there, and the quote from the court says, we understand that the date in the marriage deed is important to the man and woman, but we cannot ignore what the law says, and they ordered the marriage removed from the Zwolle city registry. I feel bad for the couple. They're now going to have to go spend some more money and say the magic words, drag their friends and family to a building. And what's worse, it's in the middle of the NFL playoffs, so, some poor husband's going to be standing there wishing they could watch the Saturday games. Question, do you have to get him a second gift? Is it required? If they screw up the first marriage ceremony, do you have to bring another gift for the second one? I'll tell you right now, I'm not even attending the second one. If you screw up your first marriage ceremony, I'm not coming to the second one. You had me. I was committed, but, I'm not going all in like that. My guess is they probably won't have a full ceremony. They'll probably do like a rapid marriage, for $150, get it done, like they do in Vegas. Which reminds me, isn't it funny how this couple went the lengths, but because they screwed up a few little words during the ceremony, the marriage does not count. But you can in Vegas just get an Elvis impersonator to marry you. That's legit. As long as you say the magic word, a dude dressed as Elvis has now put you into a legally binding contract. I'm just pointing out the bizarre hypocrisies that we have in the world right now. I think that's part of my job. At the end of the day, I feel bad for the couple. This is an annoyance now. They have to do this all over again. It reminds me of my marriage that was annulled because we inserted Color Me Bad lyrics into the speech. Apparently that's not acceptable under the eyes of God. I'm joking, guys. My marriage was annulled because it was a pagan ceremony, and when they told me and my bride that we could now kiss the goat, apparently the state of California didn't recognize that as legally binding. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. It was not a goat. It was a headless rooster that we had just sacrificed. More jokes, guys. Just jokes, You can't take me serious. I'm still married, as most of you know. Married to Jesus. A bluefin tuna was bought for a record $3.2 million by somebody called the Tuna King. Ooh, the Tuna King. This guy's a sushi entrepreneur, which means you got to take him seriously. That's more legit than a sushi influencer, I can tell you that right now. The Tuna King paid a record $3.2 million for a giant bluefin tuna at the prestigious auction in Tokyo's main fish market. Have you guys seen the documentary about that fish market? It's very fascinating. The market is called Tsukiji, and the documentary is called, like, Tsukiji Wonderland or something like that. It's so good. It's so good, especially if you're a big fan of sushi, which I am. All right, back to my little story here. Kiyoshi Kimura styles himself as the Tuna King. He paid the top price for this 243-kilogram, 536-pound specimen, which was caught off Japan's northern coast. Here's a quote from the Tuna King himself. I was surprised at the price. I hope that by eating auspicious tuna, as many people as possible will feel energized. Oh, how nice of the Tuna King. He wants everybody to eat his tuna and feel energized. But, this is pretty sad for the bluefish, if you think about it. I mean, that bluefish had a family and a school to feed, and instead it's going to feed peoples for the Tuna King so they feel energized. Let's keep reading and find out how many cans of tuna they're going to make out of this bluefin. Will I be able to buy some at Trader Joe's? I'm curious. It says the $3.2 million price at the New Year auction for this fish was the highest since data started being collected in 1999. The previous record was 333.6 million yen for a 278-kilogram bluefin in 2019 after the market moved from its traditional Tsujiki area in central Tokyo to a more modern facility. Oh, wait a minute. They've moved the fish market to a more modern facility. Oh, I thought they were just going to revamp the old place. Oh, now that I recall, the documentary did mention that it was going to be the end of that market. I don't know. I thought they were just going to build a new market next door like they do with baseball stadiums. All right, well, nonetheless, it says this tuna purchased by Kimura is going to be butchered and turned into sushi for his restaurant chain. I wonder what the name of the restaurant chain is. Let's look that up. I'm going to assume he has some high-end omakase restaurants for like $1,000 a head or something. I mean, how else are you going to justify spending this much for a tuna? Okay, it says Kiyoshi Kimura, the Tuna King, is the owner of the famous Japanese sushi restaurant chain called Sushi Zanmai, known for its reasonably priced sushi and for Kimura's high-profile record-breaking bids for bluefin tuna at auctions, which generate massive publicity. He's known as Japan's Tuna King. He has expanded Sushi Zanmai to dozens of locations in Japan and recently opened its first U.S. location in Los Angeles. I'm going to have to check out this Sushi Zanmai. Maybe I can get a little chunk of this bluefin. I like that fatty, really fatty stuff. The fattier, the better. I'm all over. Bluefin tuna, all day, baby. I never realized how much these fish go for, though. I mean, I thought you'd get a lot for a fish, but $3.2 million? I think I'm going to have to get out of this podcast business and grab my fishing pole. The article ends with a customer's quote about how good the fish is. This customer is a 40-year-old Shinto priest. Oh, boy. So, this guy's not lying when he says, quote, even without dipping it in soy sauce, there's sweetness about it. And the richness, the texture, it just makes you feel, I don't know, happy. Over 100 human skulls were found at the home of a man accused of desecrating cemeteries in Pennsylvania. We have here obviously a man who's a little unhinged. He's accused of robbing a historic cemetery, and he's been charged with hundreds of counts after authorities discovered, quote, a horror movie come to life at his home. More than 100 human skulls, as well as numerous long bones, mummified feet, decomposing torsos, and other remains were found Wednesday in the home of a person named Jonathan Gerlach, age 34. Well, this story is quite morbid. I'm so sorry. For those of you who are of the faint of heart, you might not want to listen any further. That was probably enough for you. Also, I wouldn't recommend watching the Netflix series that they'll probably make about this guy, because they can't seem to stop making series about the worst humans in history. I don't know why that is. Like, where's the Netflix series about Betty White, the most enjoyable person in the last 100 years? Nothing. We got nothing on Betty White, but, if you have bodies under your house, they'll make a total series out of you. Back to the gruesome details about this guy, Gerlach. It says the remains were found in his basement. District attorney told the media 8 additional sets of human remains were found at his storage locker as well. When interviewed about the numerous human bones on his property, Gerlach said, quote, "Hey, they weren't using them anymore, so..." I'm joking. That is not a quote from Gerlach. I don't know what he said regarding this. I'm fascinated to learn, though. Meanwhile, we do have a quote from the district attorney who said, quote, "Very simply, detectives have removed an awful lot of bones at this point, and we are still trying to piece together who they are, where they are from, and how many we're looking at. It's going to be quite some time before we have a final answer on this." The article says it's unclear what Gerlach is alleged to have been doing with these remains. They noted that some of them, the bones, that is, were hundreds of years old. Another set of remains was found with a pacemaker. That's bizarre. Do people get buried with their pacemaker? That seems strange. I mean, you don't need it anymore after you kick it, so why would you... It's not like it's a sentimental item that someone would want to be buried with either, I'd imagine, right? "Oh, you'll bury me with my pacemaker and my crutches? Could you somehow shove the wheelchair into my grave as well? Oh, I had a lot of good times with that wheelchair." It says Gerlach was arrested Tuesday, leaving Mount Moriah, which is a sprawling cemetery that stretches from Philadelphia into the nearby borough of Yeadon, according to the probable cause affidavit. Oh, so he was caught leaving the cemetery with some bones, it sounds like. I was going to guess they got tipped off by a neighbor who called the police and was like, "Yo, my neighbor's Halloween decorations are... how do I say this? Way too good." Gerlach has been charged with a total of 300 counts of theft, receiving stolen property, and abuse of a corpse. He's been charged with dozens more counts of criminal mischief, burglary, intentional desecration of a venerated object, and some other crimes they're not mentioning. Another quote from the DA is, "I grieve for those who are upset by all of this, who are going through it, who are trying to figure out if it is, in fact, their loved one or their child, because we found remains that we believe to be months-old infants among those that he had collected, it seems." It says here also that Gerlach informed the head investigator, get it? Head investigator, because of all the skulls. He admitted to the head investigator of stealing roughly 30 sets of human remains from Mount Moriah, which is the cemetery. Betsy Ross was once interred at this cemetery before her remains were moved, and soldiers from every war since the Revolutionary War are also buried here, so it's a bit of a historical cemetery, it sounds like. One of the investigators said that this cemetery is an inviting target because it has no fence and there are many points of entry with easy access. Well, yeah, I mean, most cemeteries are easily accessed. Even with a fence, you can go in. I think the inviting target has to do with something else that we're not learning here. Maybe is there no security or employees that are full-time on the grounds of this place? It's not being monitored at all. Maybe that's why it's an inviting target. That's my guess. It also says here authorities learned of the alleged crimes after board members with a nonprofit group that works to preserve the cemetery notified police that grave sites had been desecrated, many of them. In fact, it is reported that in November, underground vaults and mausoleums at the cemetery were broken into or damaged. 25 of those sites are more than a century old. After investigators identified Gerlach as a suspect in the break-ins, they conducted surveillance of the cemetery and observed him leaving the area Tuesday carrying a bag. Inside the bag were the mummified remains of 2 small children, 3 skulls, and other bones. Investigators found those remains at his home in Ephrata, which is 70 miles away, on Wednesday. Investigators believe that the remains found at his home most likely came from other cemeteries in addition to Mount Moriah, though authorities are struggling to find which cemeteries those might be. Well, good luck piecing this back together. I mean, this is a nightmare here. You got bones from various cemeteries. How do you identify them even at this point? I mean, it would be quite expensive to do DNA tests. Are you going to do that just to find out where they're from? Probably not. I don't think they have a budget for such things. I mean, you're better off spending your resources just prosecuting this psychopath and making sure other people don't do this. Maybe put some cameras in cemeteries now, everywhere. I mean, cameras aren't expensive anymore. If you don't have a security camera, like, what's wrong with you? It costs $10 to buy one of these stupid things. It hooks up to the internet. I mean, it's not complicated. Like, the fact that there's not cameras at every important location in the world right now is bizarre. This is a historical cemetery. Like, plop up a few cameras, something, if you're not going to hire a full-time security guard. Anyway, I digest. It doesn't say anywhere in the article what his intentions were with the bones. Do you think he was selling them online? That's a thing people do. I'll tell you who I really feel bad for is the realtor who's got to resell Gerlach's home now. I mean, how do you market a home that was discovered to have hundreds of skulls in it? Yeah. Is there a playbook for this? I don't know. It seems very difficult. Well, I mean, I guess you lean into it and be like, selling 4-bedroom home comes with a poltergeist. Hello, my friends and loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thank you for putting up with me for this episode. There was a little bit of everything in there. We had a fun-loving story about some tuna, and then we had Hannibal Lecter in his basement. So I apologize for going the morbid route, but many people sent me that article about the skulls in the home, and so I don't know. I just thought I'd cover it. So I've done worse things on Weird AF News, that's for sure. Well, let's give thanks and praise right now for DJ Wild Ginger. DJ Wild Ginger, doesn't that sound fascinating? I want to see what DJ Wild Ginger's up to. DJ Wild Ginger bought me coffees. That's for damn sure. That's what DJ Wild Ginger's up to. Supporting Weird AF News. One guy in a closet, basically. DJ Wild Ginger bought me 3 coffees off my website, weirdafnews.com. That's where you can go. Click on the Buy Me a Coffee banner and buy me some coffee. DJ Wild Ginger wrote a lovely note, too. It says, from a volunteer community radio DJ in Soham. All right, this is hard to say. Okay, I got it. From a volunteer community DJ in Soham to a man unafraid to admit monkeys are smarter than ice. Thanks for always speaking your mind, Jonesy. Well, that's very, very sweet, DJ Wild Ginger. Yeah. I occasionally get in trouble for speaking my mind on this podcast. I've had people write me some pretty nasty reviews saying that this is so political. I'm out of here. Is it so political? Like, really? Like, maybe once a week I drop some political comment. Like, big deal. Considering there's 5 episodes, they're all 20 minutes long. You know, I'm doing how many segments a week? 3, 6, 9, 12, 16 stories a week. Once in a while, do a little political comment. So what? Like, get over yourself. Have you even taken in any media in the last 5 years? Everything has been politicized. Everything. You can't turn on your TV and watch a series without it being politicized. You can't watch a stand-up comedian without getting a little politics, all right? So I think in the whole, spectrum of media out there, I'm very, very low on the political spectrum, this podcast. Very small amount of it. And I do that on purpose because we don't want too much politics. But yeah, once in a while, so what? What is wrong with you? I mean, go back to mainstream news and have fun with that then. I mean, if you can't handle this, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you. And if you're still not buying what I'm selling, let me ask you this. When's the last time I did a story about Trump? When I think I can tell you. It was last year, a story about him removing pennies. I think that was the last time. And that was a long time ago. I barely mentioned the dude's name on here. Like, be real. And yet the man is, like, on my mind every single day. So, someone's doing a good job over here, and that would be me. And if you don't like it, don't listen. You don't got to go on Amazon and write a 1-star review after listening to 3 episodes. The F is wrong with you. Okay, take a deep breath, Jonesy. All right. I'm done with my rant there. Thank you so much, DJ Wild Ginger. I'm like, oh, DJ Wild Ginger is so sweet. And then I go off on this angry rant. Sorry about that. Anyways, shout out to DJ Wild Ginger for being so gratuitous and appreciative. And so I appreciate you. Maybe I'll catch your DJ set one day. I don't know where you're DJing. All right. If you guys want to help me out, go to weirdafnews.com and you can buy me coffee or join the Patreon. Or just tell a friend. It's pretty cool. Just tell a friend that you enjoy Weird AF News and you think they might as well. Before I go, my email's funnyjones@gmail.com if you'd like to send me a note or an article. Okay, bye. See you tomorrow.